Hey everybody, I want to talk to you about essay writing, and particularly some common mistakes that students sometimes make when they write essays. I want to help you write better essays and get better grades on your essays. So we're going to fix some common mistakes. Mistake number 1, using dictionary definitions. Don't quote the dictionary. This is a common mistake that a lot of students make. They look to the dictionary to give them a definition to use as a kind of jumping off point for their essays. So why is this a problem? First, it's kind of a corny rhetorical maneuver. The dictionary defines love as... It's just not great. But more importantly, the definitions we get from dictionaries are pretty shallow. They're pretty basic, preliminary definitions. They don't really advance the conversation very much. If you're being asked to write about freedom in the works of John Locke or Frederick Douglass, the accounts of freedom you're going to get from those books are more robust, more nuanced, more complicated. Dictionary definitions just don't illuminate very much. They don't really help us understand the topics or the books that we're studying. The second common mistake, using the wrong pronouns. I'm sure you've heard this before. You usually want to stay away from the first person pronoun. This is the use of I. It's not that you can never use the first person. Sometimes you can. If you're going to write, I intend to demonstrate, in this paper I will argue, that's a good use of the first person. The first person pronoun gets you into trouble when you start using your feelings, your opinions, your experiences as evidence for your argument. Using phrases like, I feel that, I think, I believe, is just not that effective. The problem is simply that referring to your own opinion, your own perspective, your own feelings is just not a very strong rhetorical strategy. The person reading your essay could just say, well, so what if you think that? So what if you feel that? It doesn't really prove anything. Moreover, stylistically, inserting I think, I feel, actually just sort of weakens your writing. State that things are the case, not that you think they're the case. Or if you want to be a little more cautious, maybe you say, this seems to be the case, as opposed to, it seems to me to be the case. Framing things in this way gives your argument more punch, more power. You assert clearly that things are this way. That they are this way from your perspective is basically implied by you being the author of the essay, right? You don't need the I. In this same vein, you want to avoid personal anecdotes as evidence. When you're critiquing a book or analyzing a journal article, you don't want to refer to something your grandmother told you or this thing that happened to you once when you were a kid. Again, those kinds of anecdotes aren't really persuasive pieces of evidence. They don't strengthen your argument. So avoid personal anecdotes. Okay, common mistake number 3. The third thing we're going to fix. Avoid jargon and slang. When you're writing an academic essay, there are certain conventions around style. There's a certain formality to your language. The challenge for us when we're first starting to write essays is to write formally while still writing engaging prose. We want it to be readable and clear. We don't want it to be goofy. When you bring in colloquialisms or slang or jargon, it can often be kind of jarring for your reader. It can feel kind of unserious or silly. Your essays can still be beautiful and fun to read. They can be witty and sarcastic even, but you want them to stand out in a good way, not a bad way. In the same vein, don't use all caps or weird fonts, emojis, anything like that in your essays. Finally, the fourth thing we want to fix, avoid too much plot summary. Sometimes novice essay writers can use plot summary as a kind of crutch to get to the word count, right? You know who you are. You might use an extended plot summary to just fill up some pages. But your essays are for analysis, not for summary. Your essays need to have an argument. The way to fix this is just assume your audience has read the book. This is easy to do because in almost all cases, your professor has assigned the essay, has assigned the material to you. They know what happened in the book. You don't need to tell them. Obviously, you're probably going to need some summary, but the trick is to be concise. You might want to refer to a particular passage or a particular moment, but you can do that in a phrase. You don't even need a whole sentence to situate yourself in the text. So don't go overboard with the plot summary. Another way to think about this, sometimes when we're writing, the plot of a book or the structure of the book's argument can dominate our essay, right? We can slavishly follow the plot. Don't be a slave to the plot. Let your argument dictate the structure of your essay. If you want to start at the end of the play or the end of the book or with the last line of the poem, start there. You don't have to start at the beginning. Hey friends, wait a second. While I was editing this video, I thought of another important tip. This is days later. I've got my very bright orange sweater on. You guys like this sweater? I love this sweater. This sweater is awesome. I don't even care what you guys think about it. So the other tip I thought of, avoid surprise endings. I realize that's funny because this is kind of a surprise ending, but I'm not writing an essay right now. I think students often have a tendency to think they should save the best for last, that you should surprise us at the end with your best point. Don't do that. Don't save your best stuff for the end. You should think of your essay a little bit like an elevator pitch. Do you know about elevator pitches? The idea is you're in the elevator with somebody important for like 20 seconds if you got a chance to pitch them your big idea. That's kind of what you want to do at the beginning of your essay. You've got like a paragraph or a page to convince me why I should care. So hit me right away with your best stuff. Give me the image or the problem or the idea or the argument that's really going to catch my attention early in the paper. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to include that. Back to the guy without the awesome orange sweater. Okay, that's all for now, guys. I hope those tips are helpful for you. Thanks very much for watching.